Hello, I am the official Carla Lorraine, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. I am here doing Rise of the Planet of the Apes, my reaction review recap. It's really just a review and recap because it's not really a true reaction. I've already seen it, and I am watching it again. Now, I did not intend to do a review or recap or anything like that when I was watching this movie. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I want to do a video. It's so good. Y'all should watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you have watched it, let me know what you think. If you agree with what I say, what I think, or if I missed something, or if you have a different interpretation of things in the way that I see them, let me know in the comments. Your ideas are welcome. Part one, we only got 36 minutes and 32 seconds into the movie. In this part, we have 1 hour and 8 minutes left and 27 seconds. However, I'm pretty certain about 5 of those minutes are credits. My goal is to get through the entire rest of the movie in this video and not have a part three. I didn't mention that in the last video. I was writing timestamps so that I can know what things are and where if I wanted to add stuff in. And like even when if I go back later, I need to know like where I'm at. So part two. And here we go. Thank God for the pause button. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe, comment. So Caesar has just been left by James Franco and the lady. Okay, I don't know her name. And I think James Franco's name is Will. I found that out after I watched the movie and I was watching something and it said something. It said his name was Will. Or maybe it was the credits. But anyway, his name was Will. And they lives up to him in the atrium. I'm gonna call it the atrium. Anyway, James left. Caesar's upset, and now he's being baited elsewhere. He's so trusting. He got baited into a cage by a human, asshole human, and he's trusting of humans mostly, other than probably his neighbor. In our reality, he probably thought he was a human for a very long time until he saw a dog and then was like, "Oh, what am I? Am I a pet?" And then it's like, "No, you're my son. I'm your father." And so he thought he was a human probably for like forever. He doesn't just trust humans yet, and he got baited into a cage, into his in prison. I could have sworn we talked about this prison before in part one, but okay. The guy calls him a stupid monkey while he locks the door, locks him in. All of the other primates are going crazy and they're looking at him, not going crazy, but like antagonizing him and hollering, like whatever, making these noises and banging on their cages while they're locked into as well. They all have separate containers. They can see each other. It's like a prison. You can see they can all see each other. And I believe that the walls on the sides are not like prison, as in that they're like oh blocks. They're probably all mesh as well. Like to show you a visual, but you could tell what I'm talking about. I'm sure they're the meshes. The mesh, not mesh, but like the wires. Anyway, whatever, whatever. Y'all getting me? Y'all getting what I'm putting down? Y'all picking it up? I hope so. So James Franco's character goes to wherever there, whatever authority office he needs to go to in order to get Caesar. And he tells the lady, "Okay, I need to get Caesar out." And she says, "It hasn't been filed with the court yet, so you gotta wait for that to happen, and then it'll take at least 90 days." He says, "No, what's gonna happen is you gotta give me the papers, and I'm gonna get them out. I got a white privilege, and I'm a man, and you're a woman, and you're gonna listen to what I have to say." He didn't say that, but that was what it was. It was white male privilege. And no, she was like, "No, goodbye." And I appreciate her for that. And shame on him for trying to throw his nuts around. And I love Caesar. And I like Will for the most part. I do. He did things he did not do things efficiently or effectively, which is why this movie ends up this could be a movie, but this is why it ended up happening because we needed a catalyst who was a good guy. But that was asshole. What the fuck? Calm your fucking nerves, sir. So he goes home and he tells his father that he promises he'll get Caesar back soon. His dad looks looking sad and forlorn, but he's also going through the signs of dementia still. So his sadness could be a mixture of both, knowing that he lost his grandson and also that he's sick again. And it's sad, of course. So his father's immune system is rejecting the ALZ 112 and it renders the drug ineffective and obsolete as of now. And so he's just going to get progressively worse. And he's, there's a lot of he's. So let me be very clear about my pronouns. Will James Franco is sad and he's documenting this in a voice diary or he's just narrating. I'm not certain. So yeah, he's telling us that his dad's not doing the ALZ 112, which gave him so much life and brilliance, is no longer effective, and he's deteriorating again. Okay, so we can see that he was talking. He was doing a video diary. He was talking to the computer, and while he's talking and saying these things about how his father's health is deteriorating, the lady that he sleeps with, the zoologist, she walks in a robe, drinking some coffee or tea, and pajamas underneath. And she hears him, stops, and sighs. So there's that. And so that's how I know now that, okay, he was actually talking because she overheard him. It wasn't just narration for us. That would do it. Will tells the lady, "I can't lose them both. I won't lose them both." And then he goes back to his old job, talks to the black man, and he's like, "Hey," he gets him in the elevator and says, "Hey, can we talk?" So he gets him in the elevator, and the guy, the black guy, calls him Will. So that is his name. Yay! We know this for a fact now. And let's talk two videos. And he's what? How you've been working? You've been running Jen says you've been running this company for 10 years now. How many times has a drug come through that that can that can help 10 million people or whatever? And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He said ALZ 112. He says you are fixated on this. This is crazy. What is wrong with you? He's like, he said nobody's ever going to approve it. It doesn't work. And he said it does. My dad. I used it on my dad. He was like, "What? You do what?" So the black guy asked, "Does it work?" He said, my dad's case outran it, but it will work." And he said, "I've developed enough because his was already compromised, basically, already had an illness. So it worked, but only temporarily, only for a while. And he said, but I created it in something else, uh, stronger." So he tells him that his dad not only got better, but he improved cognitively, intelligent, all these different things that we already know happened. And so his boss, the guy, the black guy, his boss, tells him, "I want you to start testing the revised AOZ 112 on chimps immediately." So, yay, Will has a job again. But money hungry guy, like, okay, we'll see. The crazy thing is this black guy, I didn't look at him as a villain at first. I did not see him as, I just saw him as he's protecting his investments, his business, whatever. And he didn't tell the security to shoot the mom or anything like that, which was like, to me, very egregious. egregious. And the and Caesar being put away wasn't his fault or anything like that either. I didn't really see him as a villain. I saw him as an astute or shrewd, both businessman and looking out for his bottom line and for his board, and for the people who have invested in the business. And I think that other people have a different opinion on that, and we can discuss. So now the guy who tricked Caesar into the cage, well, that's his job. He tricked him into the cage, and now it's time for him to feed the other primates, the inmates, and it's slop. And Caesar, of course, is not used to eating stuff like that. He's just eating real food. And so when he gets it, he's like, mm, and he throws it at him and laughs. And he's like, but the guy taunted him first. He was like, "Here you go." He's like, "Don't you know food when you see it?" And so since he threw it at him, he pulls the hose out and he blasts him with the hose. One of the coworkers is behind him watching this, and he says, "What about his clothes?" And he says, "What about them?" He's like, "And the other guys, it might cause problems with the other apes." And so the assholes are like, "Good." Because Caesar wears clothes. He has clothes on. He has on a red shirt, sweater, and blue jeans. And Caesar finds he's laying on the floor of his cage, um, after being assaulted with the water hose, like not just a water hose, but like how they used to do black people back in the day with the fire water hoses. Like it was a powerful hose. And he sees a piece of, it's probably a piece of the wall, but he it's chalk. Oh, okay. So then he draws on his wall, a window like the one that was in the attic where he would look out and watch the children and see the outside world and things like that. And so that's what he does. And then he puts his head towards it. He's missing his regular life. Like, Just horrible for him. Horrible for him. So Will is on his second wave. Okay, he's on his mission now to improve AOC 112, and so he's meeting and to test it on the chimps again, right? The new one on chimps. So he's inside the lab area where the primates are kept at at the facility that he works at, that he's back at. And he goes to a cage with the handler, who was Caesar's mom's handler, this another scientist. Anyway, he goes with him, and he's at this up cage of another chimpanzee, and his name is Koba, and he gives him a cookie. They give him a cookie. He takes the cookie, he puts it away. He doesn't even eat it. He puts his hand back out for another. So yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one for the study. Like he's smart, obviously, right? So Koba seems like a willing participant in the studies. He's laying there. He seems okay. What's next? What's next? Etc. As they're, he's a willing participant. Except something goes wrong, like either Koba bucked up or something went wrong, and Koba's mask that has the ALC 112 going into him comes off, and it gets into the air, and then the handler had his mask off, so he inhales it. And they're like, "Put your mask on, put your mask on." So he puts his mask back on, and while the others are getting the mask and stuff back on Koba, and yeah, that's the thing that happened. So now it's time for back where we're at with Caesar, and they get free time. They're getting ready to. They're go out to play or to commune in the atrium where Caesar was first dropped off, and the area that looks really nice, but really is just encased in glass. And so he goes out. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go hang, whatever. But he's wearing clothes. And the other apes, they are not nice to him, not at all. It's hard to watch the way that he gets treated, abused, beat up, whatever, like how he has to run and hide, all these things. This is bad. And yeah. And when the guy said with the clothes, so what? Maybe that'll be better. Or whatever his wording was, whatever the wording was, when the other guy was like, "What about his clothes?" The other might not take to that well. He was like, "Okay, whatever. Maybe that's better." I don't remember the words verbatim. There's an orangutan, there's a gorilla, they're watching. Caesar tosses a like, ball towards one of the apes to still to play, and then he reaches his hand out to him like to shake hands with him. And the guy he just snatches his sweater off and starts banging a tin, and he throws it at his head, starts beating him up. The other apes are very into it. So Caesar runs off. Starts hopping up the trees and kicking him off, but in his face, like, get away from me, ass. And then he falls. Whew. So the guy, the asshole guy, not the warden, but like his minion, he shoots the ape who is attacking Caesar after Caesar falls from a, a faux tree, maybe a real. But after he falls from the tree, many feet, and the other ape is coming and he's getting ready to do something to him, like he's like there and laid out and really is defenseless because he's out of it right now. Like he has to gather his gatherings in order to get up, and that hasn't happened yet. The guy shoots the asshole guy shoots that chimp who was gonna attack Caesar with a dart. So he knocks out. Okay. So then Caesar gets up, and then he shoots him too. Now, I think the reason why he shot them, besides just being an ass, is because he wanted there to be contention and he wanted the other apes to see Caesar as being able to be attacked and to be weaker or whatever, so that they could not be on his side. That's what I think, and that he shot the other one to stop mayhem, but that he waited until all that happened so that Caesar could be picked on, picked at, isolated, and other ones see that, okay, he's not one of us. He's of somebody that we can pick on. And then he and, and then he stopped and then he stopped it so that nobody would actually be harmed, like crazy harmed or dead, but so that Caesar's pain and suffering could continue later basis his socialization. That's what I think. Let me know if you see something different or if you know something different. Please let me know in the comments because I can't think of any other reason, and that so therefore that's where my mind went, and that's where it's at because I can't think of anything else. But if you know something or if you think something else, let me know because I would like to have other ideas because my head's stuck where it's at. I don't have any other alternate opinions or ideas because nobody that I know in my real life has watched this stuff other than maybe my no, not even my dad. My dad used to watch these, but he doesn't watch this stuff. He hasn't watched this. That was back way back when I was a kid. No, I don't know if anybody that I know in real life IRL who watches these. So y'all are my people. The black guy, the owner, fuss at a black guy, you know it's only one black person in this movie, right? Y'all are aware of that, right? So anyway, the black guy goes in and he's took where Cobra is at, and he's not in his cage or anything. I don't think. Looks like he's just in the lab area, and he has a chalkboard. He has a blackboard and chalk, and he has drawings that he has on the board, and he writes the name Jacobs. And I'm wondering who in the hell is Jacob? Because when I first saw this, I was thinking that Will was probably Jacob. But they never said his name, but they did say his name. I just didn't know. And maybe the black guy's name is Jacob. I don't know, but he says Jacobs. There's no apostrophe, but we're gonna give him that allowance. Okay, he's a fucking chimp. He doesn't know grammar like perfectly, right? And syntax. Whatever. Joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. Okay. Anyway, I haven't been paying enough attention, I guess, because I don't know who in the hell Jacobs is, but I'm thinking it is the black guy. He's like, I'm yours. That's what I'm thinking. That the black guy's name is Jacob. If I know, let me know. I'm gonna see at the end anyway, because of the credits and all of that stuff. If there's a Jacob in there, I'm pretty certain. But I'm thinking that Koba is trying to put himself into the affections of the black guy because he probably realized he's the boss or something, and or he wants someone to be his, to have him like Caesar has Will. But I don't know whether or not Copa knows that. I'm pretty certain that he does. Even if things aren't shown, I'm pretty certain that people that they know. Okay. So Will goes to visit Will and the lady that he's dating goes to visit Caesar, and Caesar is so excited, and he's so childlike. He's like, "Oh yes," and he asks him, "Are you taking me home now? We're gonna go home." And Will's like, "No, we're not going home yet, not today." And and he's like, "Are you hurt? Are you hurt?" And the zoologist, the lady that Will is seeing, asks Caesar for his hand, and she gets a bowl of water, and she's like cleaning his hand off because he's injured from the fight. They don't notice that's what it's for. But then the warden is there. He's overseeing the visit. He's like, "Oh, new kid on the block. Sometimes they get picked on or whatever, whatever." So he tries to dismiss it to them, and no, it works. Nothing was said. They didn't protest it or anything. And then he said, "You know what? This visit is over. It's time to go. Whatever." So he gets Will and zoologist lady out of there. And so Caesar's there, and he's sad. He's upset. He actually is visibly upset, and he erases the window that he's drawn in chalk off of his wall. And there's an orangutan that is seeing this, and he notices this. He's watching, and he sees this. So then they go outside. So now it's outside time again. So this time Caesar goes outside. Now remember, he doesn't have a shirt now because his shirt got torn off the first time he went outside with the others. Now when he got dropped off and he was outside, as though that was a trick, as though this is where he's going to be. No, that was a facade. And anyway, so now that he's outside with all the others, this time, as opposed to getting beat up, he just goes straight to and he's angry at Will. He goes straight to the top. He just starts climbing the trees. He goes all the way to the top. He just sits there. He's just sitting there watching the others. He sees a gorilla come in. I don't think he saw the orangutan, but then he's so close to that glass. He's so at the top. And he wipes some of the grime and soot off basically so that he can see out. Because nobody goes in there like cleans it like that. I'm pretty certain. They don't do it often because he was able to just use his fur off of his arm and wipe it and see out, and he's looking out into the real world. And yeah, that was that's that. The asshole, the warden's guy, okay, one of the workers, the asshole guy. He has visitors. He has friends that he lets come to his job, and he's showing them the primates in their cages and stuff, right? So then they see the orangutan, and so that's Maurice, and then he's like, "Let me show you something. Let me show you something." And he pulls out his big ass taser, bars, and sparks come flying out or whatever. And and then one of the guests goes to see Caesar's cage, and he pulls something out of his pocket, and he puts it back in. I don't know what he was doing exactly. I might have to rewind if I want to find out for certain, but I don't really care that much. If you know, you can let me know. Put in the comments if anybody actually caught it, what he actually was doing. But Caesar saw that he had a pocket knife. And so he summons to him to come closer, come here. And the guy's like, "He's a tricky one, he's a tricky one." So, but the guy didn't listen. He swiped his pocket knife. The guy didn't notice it, but he pickpocketed him basically. And he uses that pocket knife. Caesar uses the pocket knife to make a makeshift with some stick or whatever. I was gonna say bamboo, but he's not a koala. So anyway, he makes a makeshift key, and he lets himself out. He frees himself out of his cage. After he does that, he lets out the gorilla. Lets the gorilla out, and he moves out of the way. The gorilla goes running around for a bit, and he sees his freedom or whatever. And then he goes to the chimp who attacked him and took his shirt off of him when he first went into the atrium with the others. Not when he went in alone, when he was first brought, but when he went in the second time. But everybody was there together, all the apes. And we know this because the guy has the can. Okay, the ape has the can, and so we see that it's him, and he lets him out. So that's interesting, right? And they end up going back in. He, this is not like him saying, "Hey, we're getting ready to escape and be free," but they're free for now. Like they're just he's showing himself like this is. I'm gonna give y'all this. This is what I can do. This is what we're gonna do. We can come out periodic. We don't have to be stuck in there. And of course, it's strategic. The gorilla probably because he's bigger, and then the other guy because he's a fucking asshole. Hey, don't be against me because I can help you. Don't be don't be against me, but I can actually benefit you, stupid. Will gives his dad some sort of his dad's thing belongings. So while he's going through his father's belongings, he sees this book called Julius Caesar. And in the book, there's a photograph of Will with Caesar hugging him when he was. And I guess this is why his name was Caesar. Maybe the father named him. Anyway, that is his thing. And he takes the picture out. He puts it on the dresser, standing up, and he puts the book in the box. Okay, my bad. It wasn't the dresser. It was the piano. The piano. Puts the picture on the piano. Oh, that bitch. I don't like her. He goes so he goes towards the phone to pick the phone up, and then the zoologist stops him. She grabs his hand, his arm, his wrist, and she's, "Hey, some things aren't meant to be changed." And I think that was him getting ready to call about Caesar. And she doesn't, she, I don't like her. I think, in all reality, like in right reality, what I believe about her is that she does not really care for Caesar. She wants Will to herself. She doesn't really care for Caesar. Zoologist or not, she doesn't want his affections being split between them because Caesar would win out, but except Caesar didn't, and it's already showing that she fucking won. He loves Caesar, and yes, Caesar he mismanaged raising him, which is why he was not socialized well, which is how he ended up in the situation that he's in. But her stopping him from trying to get him back and trying to rectify this situation is not helping at all. I don't like her. I don't like her. Off with her head. I don't give a shit. Goodbye. I don't like her. So instead of calling who he needed to call, or even if he would have waited until after she left, he let her get into his head because even if okay, realistically, if I'm trying to call someone and then someone tells me no, don't do that, and I don't want to cause a fucking ruckus or argue, when they leave, I'm calling. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you are? Or we're gonna have a discussion right then, or I'm gonna say not even a discussion. I'm gonna be like, excuse the fuck out of you. I'm calling. Like that's just my personality. That's me. Whatever. But He didn't do any of that. Instead of doing any of that, or even waiting until later, he just goes to work and causes records there. He goes to work. That he sees them working on Copa. Hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. But we're supposed to do that. Y'all weren't supposed to do that yet. Who authorized this? Where's Lincoln? Lincoln is the one who was the handler. Now, oh, I forgot to tell y'all this. Lincoln he sneezed. I was like, he snuzzed. That's not a word. Okay, so he sneezed. Snuzzed. He sneezed after he got exposed. Okay, after the whole thing with his mask off, all that with Koba, he sneezed blood. Okay, so now he's been out sick. So he said, "Where there was that? Where's Lincoln? I didn't authorize this." And so where's Lincoln? Because hey, I know he didn't either. Like whatever. He's over there. Like oh, he's out. He's been out sick for 2 days. And he said, "Well, who authorized this then?" And so then the black guy comes in. I'm thinking his name was Jacob, but I don't know. But I'm getting names now. I'm getting names now. Halfway into over halfway into the movie, I'm finally getting names. The black guy comes in and said, "I authorized it." He can because he's the boss, but he's not good at it because why are you forsaking protocols and forsaking safety and forsaking all these things that have been put in place by the scientists, people that you hired, the person that you hired to oversee this? You're forsaking what they have put in place, or what he has put in place to do your own fucking thing. The fuck sense does that make? You were so concerned about the board and about the money and about people think all this stuff, but you're just gonna forsake what the people who you hired, your scientists, know. Just willy nilly, let's just go for it. He fucking dumb, fucking dumb, fucking dumb. I think I forgot to tell you guys that when he let out the ape that attacked him, he put his hand out. Where is it? He put his hand out and he waited for the this from Caesar with his permission to go and be free and to whatever. And Caesar did it, and so that was nice. I think I forgot to mention that. I just saw it in my notes. Will is talking to the black guy and his boss, and he's like, "You are not supposed to be doing this. This is not okay. These tests need to be contained. They are not, and you don't know what you're doing. The ALZ 113, no, it's 113, not 112, needs to be tested in a contained environment. You're just doing things willy nilly. You're just letting people do whatever the fuck they want. It's not okay." He said, "You know what? You don't need to tell me anything. Don't tell me nothing. Tell me shit. Nothing. Because you are testing a drug unapproved on your father, and I could have you in jail. Like, what are you doing? Like, I could ruin you." And he's like, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I quit." But meanwhile, the handler who sneezed blood when Koba was being tested, was being treated or whatever, oh, is at Will's house and knocking for Will. He wants to talk to him about something. And he's like persistent knocking on the door. He goes around to the window, whatever. The neighbor next door, asshole neighbor who got Caesar locked up because they all got Caesar locked up. It wasn't just the asshole neighbor, but the asshole neighbor is an asshole. Anyway, he comes over. Hey, what are you doing? Don't be sitting here banging on people's windows and doors. Like, what are you doing? And he gets sneezed on. Guy's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Whatever." But he got sneezed on. Of course, he's sneezing blood. You piece things together if you can. If not, you'll be getting the rest. You'll be finding out. So Will goes to the prison that Caesar is being held at, and he hands the warden an envelope full of money. And he's like, okay, give me Caesar. There's a little back and forth, and then he takes him to Caesar. He opens the cage, and Will's like, come on, Caesar, let's go. Let's go home. We're going home. Caesar turns and looks, and he starts looking around at the other apes that are in there, and he's already started to form bonds with and trying to start forming bonds with, and he already feels abandoned and neglected and isolated and forsaken by Will. He's already feeling all these things, right? And instead of going home, which is all he's wanted all this time, is just to go home, he's realized, no, I don't want to go with you because I can't trust you. You are not the person I thought you were. You're not my person like I thought you were. And no, thank you. And he closes. He didn't say any of those things, of course, but he closes the cage. And the warden says, I guess he likes it here better. The thing that I think was his catalyst to closing it and not trusting Will at that moment was that Will was handed a leash right before, and it was in his hand and it was visible. And Caesar saw it in his hand. And Caesar was like, mm-mm. I'm not getting ready to walk out of here with no fucking leash. Are you out of your fucking mind at this point? Like, I am not a pet. You said I was your kid. I was your son. You're my father. I am not a pet. I'm not going to wear a leash. No, I ain't putting a leash. I'm not putting a leash on. I'm not your pet. We're not doing this. No, you betrayed me. I get it. He betrayed him, and he's trying to figure out things on his own. Now, I'm gonna figure the shit out, and he will. Maurice, the orangutan, and the gorilla noticed it, and all the others who were in proximity, they noticed it, and they did a vocal chant of some whatever, not necessarily a chant, but they were vocal afterwards in regards to it. So then Caesar, another another point of time. It's probably the same day later in the day. Caesar is outside of his cage because he has his key and he let himself out and others as he wills. He lets out, I think it's the gorilla, and he gives him a cookie. Anyway, I think it's the gorilla. I need to rewind for a second. Let's see. No, that's the chimp. That's another chimp. Yeah, he gives him a cookie and then he opens it with another cookie in his hand and he gives it to him, puts it in a bag. He puts it in a bag, like a chip bag. Maybe it's a cookie bag. I'm thinking it's a cookie bag, but it looks like a bag of chips. But it's cookies. They got the chimp takes it and he starts handing the cookies out to others in their cages. While the apes are out at the atrium, in the atrium, in their little, y'all know what I mean when I say that now, right? The the area where they can be outside, simulated. They're outside, but there's the glass bubble keeping them from like the real fresh air and being actually free, all that. But they can't tell. Caesar knows. Anyway, Caesar goes to his spot where he likes to sit now, right up at the top. Maurice, the orangutan, he comes up and he looks. up at them. Maurice comes up, the orangutan comes and sits with Caesar. He's all like, why you use rocket with the cookie? He's signing, so Maurice can use. Maurice knows ASL. Maurice has language. He has ASL, so they're signing. He's like, "Why did you?" He said, "Why cookie rocket?" Which that confused me the first time. I'm like, "Fuck!" But his language is broken. It's broken English. Okay, so it's like, I got it now. Like, okay, he used rocket. Rocket is a character who will be in the movie and he will be in subsequent movies. I am certain. I haven't seen the other movies yet, but I know. I already know. Okay. He said because apes alone, we're weak. That they're weak. He has a branch, like one branch. He breaks it. Ape alone is weak. He puts more together and to try to break his apes together, strong. We can't. So we're. He basically. I am building a community. I'm building strength. I'm building camaraderie. Of course, he didn't use all those words, but he said ape alone weak, apes together strong, camaraderie. We need to stand together and then we can move mountains. We can move mountains, we can move trees, we can move something, we can take care of things if we work together, if we move as one, if we're together, a lot of us together, we're strong. Black people, where we at? Caesar goes, he gets lets himself out, goes into the atrium, lets himself out of the atrium, goes down, he slides down the atrium dome and hits the streets. See a Ferris wheel in the distance. He's not going to the amusement park. No, he's not going to the carnival. He is headed to Will's house. He goes to Will's house, which was home, and he goes in the refrigerator. Everybody's asleep. It's nighttime. Everybody's asleep. He goes into the refrigerator. He gets the ALZ 112 valves that are there. And I think he punctured one inside the house. I'm thinking he did. But mm, not certain. Let me know in the comments because if he did, repercussions and oh my god, I want to know. But he takes them back to his facility that he's been staying at, okay? That he's been held captive. And he punctures them. He has that knife. He has a pocket knife. He punctures them each with the pocket knife that he has, and he lets them like roll down the aisles. And all of the apes in the facility basically can get the benefits of the ALZ 112 now. They're all asleep. They're asleep, okay, because it's the middle of the night. They're asleep. They're gonna wake up, and they're gonna wake up with new found intelligence. Caesar is not playing, y'all. I am not playing with y'all MFers. I'm not doing this. Y'all are done. Y'all are done fucking with me and fucking with us. At least these us's. I'm done. Rise up. Rise up, rise up, rise of the planet of the apes. This is a rise. He's all, no, we're rising up. Rise up, basically, is what he's saying. I'm, you might not know this, but I'm a sailor. I have a mouth on me, okay? Memorial Day, red, white, and blue. For Memorial Day, I've lost people, my husband, other people that I've known and cared for greatly. It's Memorial Day. And my best wishes and fountains and happy birthday to you all. And my condolences to those of you who have lost. people who were serving. I- I'm there with you. I am. I care. Moment of silence. Because I didn't do it in the beginning. I did all this stuff earlier this morning when I woke up, and me and my guy, we sat and did our thing. He did his for me because my husband and all that. So we we took time for that. So I'm gonna take time for you all. Amen. God bless you all. The guy comes in. Okay, so the apes are in there. They wake up. They have they now have AOZ 112, and they awaken, and they're all just sitting around watching as the warden guy, not the warden, but the asshole guy. I think it's the asshole guy. Somebody, I don't know if they show who exactly it is, but I think it's the asshole guy because he is the one who's usually going around in that area, right? Handling them, handling the primates in the prison. And I say prison, you know that I say prison, you know it's not a prison. It's just they're being held captive because of who they are, not for any real reasons. Okay, just because of what they are. They're sitting there stoic, like he's doing whatever he's doing. Then they go to the atrium. Caesar is at the entrance of the atrium as they're all coming into the through the door, and they're all like giving him acknowledgement, like, okay, well, they're doing the little hand thing, whatever. And Maurice, the orangutan, he acknowledges him, and I love Maurice too. So we'll see more of him as well later. This movie, I don't know how much more. Yeah, we'll see him in this movie as well, but and other movies as well. This is a series, and this is the beginning of the series of the Planet of the Apes for this particular storyline, where Caesar is the headliner, and it is good. And I want to say that because I have gotten spoilers on the others. I have not seen them. I've only seen this one, but I've gotten spoilers on all of them, except for the one that's in the theaters right now. I stay away from those because I want to see that with fresh eyes. I don't know if that's part of this story or part of another story or whatever. I don't know, and I want to be surprised. Okay, so no spoilers in the chat for that. I'm not gonna go see that until what's today? It's Memorial Day, so it's Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Go to work. Yada. I'm not gonna go see it. I'm gonna watch other ones throughout this week, probably, and do these videos once a night. Whatever, whatever. That won't be coming up that soon, probably, because that's it's rendering and all that. It's it's stuff. Okay, go things go into it. But I probably will actually go to the movies and see it this weekend. I'm gonna go see it this weekend. I'm gonna go see it with my son, with one of my sons. We already made said we were gonna go. We were gonna go this weekend, but he didn't catch up on these, and I'm not caught up either yet. So that ended up being a bust. But we are gonna. I'm gonna go with my son. We're gonna go see these, and he's gonna watch. He's supposed to be catching up on them on Hulu, and as well as I. But I don't want to watch those until I finish it. I don't want to watch more before I actually even do the videos because I don't want to have my head like in other spaces and know too much before I'm doing them for you guys. I want them to be as authentic as they can be without me doing actual reaction videos because I'm not doing reaction videos. I might, if y'all want reaction videos as opposed to recaps and reviews, that might be good. I just gotta figure out exactly how to do it because the way that I was doing them before, which I have done a couple, but I never posted them because technical difficulties. They the ways I was doing it, the way I was doing it before, I it doesn't work. It's not working the same way anymore. I don't know what something in the mechanics changed. So I have to figure out now how to actually have that, how to do it. I have to figure some things out on my end, which means I have to research, I have to figure stuff out, trial and error. That's going to take between that and making sure my audio, video, and all the visuals and the way I'm going to position my face and the screens, all that stuff. That's gonna take a whole freaking day. That's not gonna happen until a weekend because I can't. It has to be a weekend because I work during the week. So anyway, a reaction video, we'll see. Recap and review, like this is fine. And then even if I put the pictures on, which is what I used to do, that just takes so much time. It takes so much time to do those, especially because now I have to have the pictures, all that stuff together. And no, it's just, I'm telling you guys something. This YouTube, I know I take breaks because I need to take breaks because of my life, because of my mental, because of all types of stuff that be going on. The kids, to this, to that, to the whatevers. Now I'm coming back into it, and I'm going to be doing it again more on a regular basis. But I'm letting you know it is not that easy or simple to just do. There's things that go into it. There's lots of things. There's lots of little moving parts that you have to make sure that you have together. Anyway, I'm done with that. Let's move on. That was just I might even cut that part out. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's not. I'm sure y'all have heard that before. You watch people, they told you before. It isn't as easy as it looks. It's easy to get on the camera and talk. Is that part is easy, but all the other stuff, no, no. And you know what? That's easy for some of us. 'Cause some people, that's not the easy part. That's the hard part for some people. Some people don't are not comfortable talking in front of the camera, or talking to people. Period. And then it's why are you doing this? I don't know, because I but everybody has their journey. Everybody has their stuff, and that is good. It's always good to learn that. That is a good skill to have, to learn, to have, to acquire. Is public speaking and speaking to people. So no shade. Good, good. Okay, gotta gotta go back to what we're doing. So two of the guards basically are in the office area. The warden is there as well. And one of the asshole guy, I think it's the asshole guy, is like, my cookies are gone. You took my cookies. He said, no, I didn't take your cookies. I didn't take your cookies. He said, you took my cookies are gone. The warden's like, you know what? I'm done with you guys. I'm going home. And then he leaves. He's leaving. As he's leaving, he sees the atrium and there's a view from their office to the atrium. And he sees that the apes are outside in the atrium having a meeting of sorts. They're congregated and they're all sitting silent, whatever. And Caesar turns and looks and they have eye contact. And the warden leaves. Uh, and we see that Caesar has green. His eyes are green now, like they're bright green. Okay. So Franklin's neighbor, Franklin is the handler. Franklin's neighbor, Franklin's neighbor goes to Franklin's store. Franklin's the handler, okay? And she's not answering, so she goes in and she sees that he's dead. Okay, so now we're back at the prison where Caesar's at, and the asshole guy is there as well as another worker, and who's not unkind or not as unkind, I should say. We don't know him as well. We haven't seen anything really problematic from him, except that he follows the asshole. He, but he's the one who's good about his clothes. It can cause problems. That guy, and then the asshole was like, "So that'll be good, whatever." So he's not a strong character. He doesn't have much agency. He said something, but he didn't make certain that he's weak. Okay, he's a weak. He's a weakling because he saw something that could happen potentially, and he didn't stop it from happening. He was just like, "Oh, okay, well, okay, whatever." Anyway, he wasn't an advocate for the apes. He was an advocate for Caesar, I should say. And the asshole and Caesar get into it. He tells Caesar something. He's, "Oh, you're like, get off of me, leave me alone." Caesar gets out. Caesar's out. He goes in this. Oh, he'll get off. They have a tussle. "Leave me alone. Get off of me, you dirty ape," or whatever. And Caesar stands up to his fullness and he tells him no. He speaks, says no. And he speaks and he says, "Ah, no." And then he starts saying no over and over. So as he's walking throughout the cages, and he the guy he pushed the guy anyway. The guy's passed out, and he grabs his taser. So now he has the taser. He's, "I got it," and no, I got and he drags the guy away. He didn't kill him or anything. He just knocked him out, dazed him. He got up, and he's letting he's letting the other apes out. He grabs the taser back. The guy gets the taser off the ground, off the floor, I should say, and Caesar doesn't know, I guess, what that is exactly, like how all that stuff works, because he's smart and he has learned things, but he didn't learn like I don't know what his educational level is, but I don't think it's like high school ish where he understands, or even junior high maybe, where he understands like electricity plus water equals electrocution. Anyway, he grabs that hose and he hoses that man while the man is holding that taser, and that man is he's frat pack. Okay. Then he goes. So then Caesar, then all the apes are out. So and he goes to his own cage and he said, and I think it's his own cage, and he sees Jen said, like the company that James works at, which he has seen because James took him there before on the outside to see. Right, he was explaining to him like where he came from, who his mother was, is that etc. 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 Which is in part one, which will be in all one part when I put them together if I ever do that, which I more than likely will, but we'll see. So then he takes all of the apes, opens the atrium, and all the apes go into the atrium. He lets the atrium open, and they all leave from the top of the dome. They all leave. They're free. They're no longer in prison. They are escaped. They're escaped inmates. I should say. They've escaped. They're gone. They're no longer there. They're free. They're out in the world now. Out in the world with all of us. With all of these bad ideas, these bad things that have happened to them. And Caesar with his bad experiences and his mistrust now because Will done betrayed him and now he's been put in this place and they've mistreated him and he's seen the mistreatment of his fellows that he now knows are his fellows because he thought he was human before and now he realizes he's not and these are my people. This is my tribe. And yeah, that's that. So let's see. So Will goes to the ape prison and he sees Will calls and no one answers. So then he and zoologist girl go to the ape prison and he doesn't see anyone. He goes into the cage area where the apes were contained and he sees that that one guard is dead and he sees the other guard laying on the ground on the floor. He's like, what happened? He said he spoke. Your ape spoke. This is where I'm going to have to end it tonight. It is almost midnight for me. It is 11:57 p.m. I still have 30 minutes to go of this movie and I am tired. I have to go to work. I have to eat dinner. Not in that order. Okay. I got it. My order. Take a shower, eat dinner, take my ass to bed, and then go to work. And then I'm gonna just finish the next 30 minutes tomorrow because I can't. I have a commute. I have to drive. I can't do this right now and give you my all, my everything. And I want to give you my all and my everything. So I'm going to end this now. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please come back for part 3, which will be the final part for this particular movie. And as what do I say? I say it all the time, right? I say it all the time. Thanks for watching, and I love you.